know. And that's pretty much it. Now, if you want to delete it, you can go all the way down and you can even delete it. But for right now, we don't need to delete it. So I would just say change the name. So whatever work we did last week has already been graded. It was graded as of last night. And we're going to start fresh today. So I want you to rename it to QC New Books Dash Old. And that's it. Simple as that. Once it's been renamed, refresh your browser and you'll see the new name here. If you don't, then there is a problem. So I'm looking at mine. For some reason, I did not change it. I'm looking up there here. So let me make sure. I try it one more time. Dash old. I click rename and I need to make sure I saved it. So you look up there and you will see name has changed. If it has not, you um, rename it again. But once it's changed, that's it. That's all I'm looking for. Okay, so now I'm going to come back to my VS Code. We're going to be doing that, but let me open up my notes also. So in here, if you've fallen behind, you don't know what you're doing, anything, start right here, course folder. So I'm giving you step-by-step instructions from the very, very, very beginning. 1.1, how do you have a folder? So it's not super critical that you follow it exactly like this, but this is a way to do it. So it tells you what to do if you're on Windows, and it tells you what to do if you're on Mac. So different ways to open your file explorer or find your document desktop choice using a finder. Whatever, again, it tells you the two separate ways of doing it. So I'm also going to do the same thing. I'm going to open up my folder. And I actually messed up. Let me go back again, open my folder. And somewhere, and I'm going to I do have under coding and this and that. But today I'm going to just create a brand new folder here. And I'm going to call it, for me, I'll first create a folder called 2026 Spring. Again, I don't care how you do it, okay? So I'm gonna then go inside my 2026 Spring folder And now I'm going to follow the instructions which are given. So you're going to create a new folder called Accounting 343. So me inside my Spring 2026 or wherever you want, create a new folder called Accounting 43. So if you haven't done it, or even if you've done it today, start fresh. Create a brand new folder somewhere else called Accounting 343, just like that. And follow for your operating system, Windows or Mac. And why are there no spaces in the folder name? Like, why did I have you do ACC in small caps 343? Because sometimes when you're working in the terminal, not the GUI that we're using, graphical user interface, but sometimes when you're working in the terminal, it looks at spaces as separators between commands and arguments. So a folder name capitalized ACC space looks like two separate items, and you don't want to do that. You could put a dash in between or whatever. So the easiest approach is to use short, lowercase, hyphenated, or underscored. And me, I just wanted to make it ACC 343. This makes it always safe. Sometimes it works. You don't have to worry even with spaces, but sometimes it doesn't. And I don't want a headache. So it's telling you you can pin the folder for easy access. So for Windows, I can go and right click Accounting 343 folder and say pin to quick access. So and quick access is this section. So this is Windows. I can right click and say pin to quick access. And now my Accounting 343 folder is here. It makes it a little bit easy for me to quickly get in there if I want to. It's optional, but I'm giving you very detailed instructions. I updated this document since last week because I saw students were struggling with even very basic things. So I updated it with all these instructions. Okay, Walter, is this a time for us to be discussing these things? Are you paying attention at all to the lecture? You want to discuss this? Discuss it with me at the end of the class. Right in the middle of lecture, don't go off on a tangent, something completely irrelevant. You think I need to stop the class right now and have a one-on-one discussion with you? Does it make any sense? At this time, you're welcome to ask me questions about the material I'm covering. That's it. Anything general, when is the final exam? This is not an appropriate time. Make sure you're up to date, and I'm going to go to the next one. So you've already done this. You purchase a domain name. If you haven't done it, it gives you detailed instructions as to what to do. Setting your name servers, whatever you need to do. I do not want anyone to touch their name servers because once you touch it, it can mess you up and restart the entire process. We did this already last week, installing Node.js. Please do not do this again. But if you haven't done it, go back, make sure that you follow these instructions and install Node.js. Without it, you will not be able to do the work we are about to do. So if you're behind for whatever reason, you need to do that first, then you'll be able to follow with my lecture. A lot of the time, we are going to be using what's called the terminal. And terminal is commonly called a command line interface. It is not graphical user interface based, it's text based. It's like the type of stuff you had in 1980s. That's how computers work. An example of that is, we've all seen this. This is your terminal. Okay. So in here, it's not point and click anything. Like here, I can point and click, right? So create, like I'm doing a commit. Okay, created quiz file documentation. Okay, so now after doing this, I can click commit. Now you can do exactly the same thing from out here. You can type in commands which replicate this. So that's what I mean by terminal. And the one in Windows we're using is right now PowerShell. But that's not your only choice. If you look down here, new terminal, terminal, PowerShell, Git Bash, command prompt, these are all in the Windows environment. Mac has its own. So me, I just use the standard terminal. It does the job. They're all mostly the same. There are differences, but for what we are doing, it's not going to make any difference. I'm explaining this in here. So if you have never used a terminal, especially textbooks, you have to type commands. It's not graphical user interface. You must physically type things. This is the way things were in 1980s and in early 90s before Mac and Windows, the graphical environment came to being. And there are many different types of terminal. We are going to use the standard one. So in the Windows environment, you have a bunch of these. We are just using the VS Code terminal. And Mac has its own bunch of terminals. The one which is built in is just called terminal. There's an iTerm and then VS Code. And this is the one we're just using. What would it look like? Something like this on Mac. So this is just a review, because again, last class or two, I'm seeing you guys are not familiar with even the very basics. All right. I'm going to repeat this. Most of the stuff we have already done. I'm going right to the very beginning, as if it's the first day of the semester, and going through these things with you. Because I know there are students who are probably coming to the class for the first time today. Make sure VS Code is installed. We are going to need that. Node.js, you need to make sure it's installed. We're going to need that today. You know how to install Git and Git SCM. We did this a while ago. How you do that? You need to have a browser, and I want you to use Chrome for everything. It makes it a lot easier. You need to make sure you have GitHub account. We don't need this right now, the pgadmin or Neon, but you do need Vercel, and you need a domain name. We've done these things already. So now I'm going to start. This is what we did last week, and I'm going to start from scratch. Open your course folder in VS Code. So I'm going to do that. Right now, I'm not in there. So I'm going to go to my file, open folder. I'm going to look for my accounting 343. I'm going to select that folder. Open the accounting 343 folder. And you may get a warning that, do you trust it? I'm going to say, yes, I trust it. Because we're going to be doing coding and stuff. All of a sudden, GitHub, Copilot, Microsoft, it gets started. It opens up a window, don't need it. Just close it out because it's just waste time. You don't need anything in here as far as the Copilot is concerned. So you need to be inside that folder, and that's what we have done. Okay, this step is critical. We are going to be creating a project inside our 343 course folder, not in a random location. So find it wherever you've created that folder. You can create it in a random location, that doesn't matter. But now this one. And I have multiple accounting 343 folders. This is why I created Spring. Because if I go, you look in mine, and I have accounting 343. And within that, I have another accounting 343. So I want to avoid confusion with you guys. I know what I'm doing. For you, just create somewhere that you are going to be comfortable, brand new. Accounting 343 folder. And I have opened that folder using VS Code. Then follow the instructions. Make sure you're inside that folder. So once VS Code opens, look at the Explorer sidebar and the file icon at the top. It should show accounting 343 or whatever you named it right there at the top in capital, even though I typed it in small caps. You do it exactly the way I've done it, small caps, and VS Code may make it large caps, and that's fine. I don't, but you do it exactly the way I've asked you to do. Now we're about to start some stuff. So on Mac, when we're doing copying and pasting, Command and V ought to work. Control V typically does work in Windows, but not necessarily in VS Code. Sometimes you'll see we'll have a problem. So I recommend doing Command Shift V. And this is also the same as right clicking. So there you have a couple of options when we are going to be copying and pasting. Okay, so we are going to create a brand new project which is going to be what we did last class. We're going to do it one more time. So in the terminal, so when you have my notes open, please do not try to highlight and copy. You could make a mistake. Best thing to do is use copy and paste right here. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to click copy. I'm going to go in here. Now, I can open my terminal, view terminal. I'm going to paste it in here. So make sure you're in the Accounting 343 folder, paste it. And I'm going to hit enter. So at this time, slow down. Do not rush. Watch what I am doing. Slow down. So this is a command. And this is exactly the name I want. So, okay to proceed. Watch what I'm doing. Do not get ahead of me. So, what are we trying to install? We are installing SvelteKit Minimal. This is a terminal, which means mouse is not going to work. I can't come in here and click. So, you use your arrow keys and space bar. This is what I want. I want SvelteKit Minimal. But I'm going to make sure that's what the professor says in the instructions. So in the setup, your answer should be SvelteKit Minimal. You're not to decide on your own. I'm giving you very specific guidance, recommendation. It tells you exactly what you do and you don't do anything else. So SvelteKit Minimal. Then, once I've selected SvelteKit Minimal, I'm going to press enter. Then it says, do you want TypeScript? And if you look at my notes, it says, no, professor doesn't want TypeScript. It's a good thing to have, but it will make it difficult for me to teach you. That's why I'm telling you, say no. Next. When I'm going to do that, and again, make sure you don't end up doing anything else. So I'm going to hit enter. So now it says, what would you like to add to your project? So I want prettier. So I press space bar. What else do I want? What would you like to add to your... So press space bar to check a bunch of items. We want Tailwind, Prettier, and ESLint, 3 items. So just Prettier is at the top. Second one is something called ESLint. I go down and I click it. And then I'm going to come down to Tailwind CSS, do that. And that's it. 3 items should be checked. And I'm going to press enter. Then it says, do you want typography and forms? I'm going to say yes, but let me look at my instructions. So here I'm explaining what is a prettier. You saw me use it on my end last week, that the files were formatted nicely, easily. ESLint tells you if there's an error in your code. Okay, so we want to do that. And we were also adding Tailwind, which is CSS styling, make it look good. I don't know if I have that in here or not. Okay, prettier handles, Svelte files, HTML, CSS, and ESLint. I think I forgot to mention Tailwind CSS. I thought I had it, but okay, so I don't have it in there, but this is why we are in a class right now. Make sure both of these are selected. We want typography and we want forms. And then you can press enter. And then we're going to use NPM. We have a lot of choices, but this is the one I want to use. I actually like Bun the best, but NPM is the easiest for most people to learn. And I'm going to hit enter. So at this point, it's going to start installing all the stuff. It will take a couple of minutes. So just relax and wait. You should be installing it about 2 minutes and you'll get a message saying you're all set. But make sure you're really not all set. You gotta take some more steps. So let's get up to this point. Raise your hand when you are at this point. I'm gonna stop my streaming. I'm gonna monitor you guys. Raise your hand once you are at this point. And Giovanni, I said yes. I wanted everybody to do it again. Yeah, when we started the class, I showed you how you invalidate the old GitHub folder and start from scratch. Last week, I did not have you install Prettier or ESLint. We only did Tailwind. So today, I'm doing things from the very beginning. So you need to make sure that you're installing it exactly like I'm asking you to. Brand new folder, you're repeating it. It's repetition. Raise hand to let me know. I have 13 students saying yes. If you're behind, update me through a message. So, Tatiana, that's fine. And I'll work with you if needed. Do let me know if you are having any issues. This way, I'll set aside time to help students individually. because we're now starting last week, as I mentioned, every week the work that you're doing, it's going to go on GitHub and it will get graded. I'm going to give 2 more minutes, and if you don't mention anything to me that you are having an issue, I'm going to move on. So if you're behind, and make sure you go through my notes. It's on the website now, and the link is available to you. And you can go back and do it. And again, my deadline for whatever we're doing now is going to be Sunday midnight. The deadlines are going to change, but for right now, I'm giving you till Sunday midnight to make sure you're caught up. I don't see anybody else's hands going up. We're stuck at the same number of students. Varsha, are you there? Vanik, I need you guys to respond. If you did not raise your hand, I need you to tell me I'm here. Otherwise, I'm going to remove you from the class. Okay, Vanik, what is your status? Update me. Are you having an issue? Varsha, update me. Talia, update me. Praman, update me. So, Vanik, why are you not raising your hand? Are you caught up or not? I want you guys to either raise your hand telling me I'm good because I'm recording this, or you need to message me that you're having an issue. Otherwise, if you don't respond, then I don't know, like Varsha, I have not heard from you. If you don't respond, if anybody has her on WhatsApp, let her know the professor is calling on her. She needs to either come back into the class and participate or disconnect. All right. So I'm going to share my screen again with you. And we will continue. So I had you stop at a fairly critical point. Even though it's telling you you're all set and you think you can get going, and you'll get very used to running it because we're going to just call it npm run dive. You're going to see this over and over again. So when you are at this point, you may think, I'm ready. Answer is you're not. This is a super critical stage. You have just installed in that folder another folder. You need to be in that folder. Now, that folder should be up there at the top, not like this structure anymore. So look at my notes. And these are the instructions that I want you to make sure you understand. So once you have installed it, like, let me go back in here. We did this, we installed it. So now I want to open the project folder in VS Code. So in order to do that, you're going to go back to your 343 folder, and then you should see a QC New Books folder inside it. And I want you to open that folder. There are different ways of doing it. I gave you one set of explanations here. I like to do it straight from here. So in here, I'm going to go File, Open Folder. Inside my Accounting 343 folder, I should now see a folder called QC New Books. I want to select that, and that should be the top level folder. So what I just did right now, it still doesn't look right. It's not at the top level, right? This is where I want to be. I want this to be up there. I did something, but I did not do it right. I should not be seeing Accounting 343 anymore. I made a mistake. So I'm going to go back again. Open folder. I'm going to go in here. And the mistake I made was I wasn't paying attention over here. Now I need to make sure I select QC New Books. It's there. Now I say select folder. So now QC New Books should be the big top level heading. Then you know you're in the right place. And when you go in, get rid of this Copilot as usual. Please make sure you are at this level. So Crystal, just hold off on it. That's a separate issue. So just X out of it for now, Crystal. And Christopher, I am not understanding your question. You should be going to File, Christopher, Open Folder. This is the way I want you to do it. And then go into your QC New Books. And this is exactly what you should be seeing, like at the top level. You should not be seeing Accounting 343 or anything else. And Christopher, let me know if you are okay before I move on. All right, wonderful. So at this time, I want to open up my terminal. So the way you can do that is view terminal. And on Windows, it's Control plus that backtick. And I often use that. I want to open it up. Now,